Do you have a gig on New Year's Eve? I think there are a couple of different schools of thought on this. The big ones are, of course, I'm DJing on New Year's Eve. That's a big premium night, and I'm going to be out there somewhere. The other one is, no, I have done enough of these in my career. I'm choosing to spend this with family and friends. I'm not working. I've been both of those schools. And then there's that wild card that pops up when you've decided you don't want to do it. You get that call, the establishment's freaking out, or the private party's freaking out because they need a DJ. Happened to me last year, 2 days before New Year's Eve. And it worked out because the money was there and I took the job. If the money wasn't there, I wouldn't have taken it. But we'll get more into that later because I got some tips for you. For any of you DJing New Year's Eve, whether it's you've been planning it for months, or if it's I just got the call today, or I'm getting the call tomorrow or the next day, you don't know. You could get the call. It happens. Somebody out there needs an emergency DJ, and it might be you. But here's some things to consider before you take this job. The first thing is, how far away is it? That's a big one for me. I took the casino New Year's Eve gig, I don't know, going back about 12 years ago, because it was local. It's only 10 minutes from my house. It's not a big deal. And the one I'm working on New Year's Eve this year is downtown. It's even closer than the casino was. But I have taken jobs that are an hour or two away. And the reason this is problematic is a couple of things. First of all, I live in the Midwest. I live in Wisconsin. You never know what the weather's going to be like. You could get a snowstorm on New Year's Eve. You're out later than normal. I mean, a lot of us mobile guys, we're done at midnight at the latest. This usually goes to like 2 or later. And then you've got weather you have to deal with. And you're really far away. And maybe the plows aren't out yet or something. That's a bummer. And the other thing are the other road hazards out there, whether the weather is good or bad, or the temperatures are high or low, and those are the drunk drivers. Now, regardless if you're driving a mile from your house or you're driving 100 miles from your house, there's still that risk, but it's higher the further away you are. Of course, you've got to make that judgment call. Is it worth it to you? It's a big one. As far as the money goes, don't give it away. I mean, this is a premium date. They called you. So don't give it away. And if you book something like this, I would highly suggest that one of two things happen. If it's a private event, contract it and get paid in advance. Things can happen on New Year's Eve, even with the people who are throwing these parties, where they drink too much and they forget to do things like, some of us, like I do this. I get money at the end of the night, the balance anyway. I don't like to do that on New Year's Eve for private events. Pay me up front, because I don't know what kind of condition that person's going to be in when it's time to knock things off. The other thing is, overtime can happen on New Year's Eve. So here, bar time is 2 o'clock during the week, 2:30 on weekends, but it's a 24-hour affair on New Year's Eve. There's no time you have to close the bar. I've worked at establishments before who have decided to stay open later, on the fly. So you were scheduled till 2 and you end up working till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. It's happened before. So I've been burnt on this too, money-wise. So I would highly suggest that even if this is a remote possibility with your New Year's Eve gig, have some kind of contract ready to go for them to sign before you agree to do overtime. Have a 1 hour ready, have a 2 hour ready, have a 3 hour ready, just as insurance. So they've signed something, they know that they got to pay, it's crystal clear. Just a tip from someone who's been burnt. One suggestion I have for anybody who's going to be out there is to rest up. It's going to get crazy. It's amateur night. These are people who don't always go out. Now, after COVID, almost every night's amateur night, but this is worse because it's later than usual and there's massive alcohol consumption. So not everyone is on their best behavior, and you're going to need to have the facilities to deal with some lunacy. It's part of why we don't give this away. It's a lot of work. Plus, the establishment makes crazy money on their drinks these nights. Packs the place, you know. Don't be afraid to ask for more dough, because you're going to earn it. Whether you know it or not, you're going to earn it. Now, the other thing about it being an unusual night where people are going to be out who don't normally go out, maybe, and this is just my opinion on this, be ready to change up the music a little bit. For instance, if you're an EDM DJ and you get a whole bunch of people in there who really want to hear Taylor Swift, you might want to be ready for that, because the last thing you want are disgruntled people in your establishment. You just don't want it. It could cause problems. You want people to be happy. You want happy party goers. You want a happy dance floor. You want a happy bar. Do your best to keep them happy. I normally would not suggest that you compromise your artistic integrity and do something that maybe you weren't planning on doing musically. But in this case, yeah. I would be ready to change it up, because you never know. As far as the bar is concerned, ultimately, as long as they're making money, they're fine. Just be ready to be somebody who's flexible, because it might not be what you expect. Prepare a folder of creative music. This is a big one. There might be songs you're thinking about that happened this year. And there's not a lot this year, admittedly. There's not a lot of big bangers that came out this year in my world. Maybe in your world there was, but there's a couple. There's a couple from the Barbie movie. There are some wiki tracks that I really like. But a lot of it's carryover from the last couple of years. But have those prepared, because what I like to do on New Year's Eve is banger after banger after banger. And I keep it up tempo. I don't do anything down tempo. If it's a drag, if it's sad, if it's, I don't know, about whiskey or whatever, I don't play them. I'm doing all bangers. It's all happy, up-tempo music. If anybody wants to feel depressed on New Year's, as far as I'm concerned, they can find another place to go. I want my people to be happy and have a lot of energy and drink a lot and enjoy themselves. So, up-tempo is king. And when it comes to repeating tracks, this is unique to New Year's Eve for me, because sometimes you see a different crowd come in after midnight. Like, there's a crowd that stays until midnight, says Happy New Year, and they go somewhere else, and you get another crowd that comes into your establishment. So maybe don't be so strict on the no repeat rule, especially the big ones. Like, if this one Pitbull song was your big song, maybe play that again after midnight. Play it before or play it after. I normally wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do a big set of repeats, but a few repeats I think are in order on New Year's Eve, depending on what the rotation of the crowd is. Be the judge, but don't be afraid to do it. If they liked it the first time, 2 hours ago, they're going to love it the second time when they're good and drunk and there's new people to enjoy the song with. When you're in that booth, and I ran into this last year, because it was so crowded. The place was packed. I couldn't get out of the DJ booth. I couldn't cross the dance floor to the bathrooms or to the bar or anything. The floor was so slippery wet, and me being disabled made it even worse. But, you know, maybe it's a really good idea to have a little snack and maybe a bottle or two of water with you in the booth. Just in case. Just in case you find that you can't move. Might be a good idea to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have stuff in there to drink, just in case. And as far as the bathroom goes, I'll just do my best with that. But no, be prepared for that, because sometimes you can't move. And in New Year's, where I'm at, that is the case. I'm not going to be able to move. And do your best work. Not only play your best sets and all that, but be professional. Be easy to work with, be cool, be the person who solves problems, not the one that creates problems. I found that doing that last year landed me the gig at the club. I am now their preferred guy. And it's not because I sucked on New Year's. It's because I killed it on New Year's. So go in there, be professional, be cool, do your absolute best work professionally and performance-wise. Those are my New Year's Eve tips for you. And I don't blame you one bit if you don't want to go out there on New Year's. I've been that person. But I also don't blame you if you get an offer you can't refuse, and it's the right venue and it's the right party. I don't blame you there either, because, hey, money talks. What are you going to do? I'm happy. I'm happy to do it. And I can have friends down there. Blanca can come down if she wants. She won't, but she can come down if she wants. It's a cool gig, and I'm happy and comfortable there. And it's going to be better this year because I've had all year to play there. And I really got a good feel for it after the 25-year hiatus I had from the place. But like I said earlier, it might be a very different crowd than usual. So be prepared to switch it up. Keep it up tempo. Have a folder ready. Don't be afraid to do those repeats. Be professional and have fun. I'll do more videos before New Year's, but I want to get this one out. I'm exhausted from Christmas, by the way. I feel hungover, but I don't drink because it was such a crazy day yesterday. So I hope you guys had a great holiday with your family, and we'll see you real soon. Practice and enjoy.